Tulsi Gabbard is hilariously and tragically the director of national intelligence in the United States, and she is in absolute shambles. And this one is particularly embarrassing because it is completely self-inflicted. Now, a couple of months ago, Tulsi Gabbard was out there confidently assuring everybody Donald Trump, who she works for, would never pursue regime change or interfere in foreign governments. It's not just that it's unlikely, he would never do it, ever, ever, ever. She said it flatly. She said it with certainty. She said it like someone who had special insight into Trump's worldview. He would never do this. Take a listen to what she said.
The old Washington way of thinking is something we hope is in the rearview mirror and something that has held us back for too long. For decades, our foreign policy has been trapped in a counterproductive and endless cycle of regime change or nation building. It was a one-size-fits-all approach of toppling regimes, trying to impose our system of governance on others, intervene in conflicts that were barely understood, and walk away with more enemies than allies. The results? Trillions spent, countless lives lost, and in many cases, a creation of greater security threats. The rise of Islamist terrorist groups like ISIS. President Trump was elected by the American people to put an end to this. And from day one, he has showed a very different way to conduct foreign policy.
Oh, boy. You know, Tulsi, when she ran, said she is the only real anti-war, anti-regime change candidate. And of course, a lot of people fell for that. And then when she came around from the Democratic Party to supporting Trump and sucking up to Trump and ultimately getting a job offer from Trump, she insisted Trump is the anti-regime change guy. And it turns out, and we know that Tulsi just waves in the wind. Whichever way the wind blows, Tulsi goes with. Tulsi didn't just get something wrong. She staked her credibility on a claim that has completely collapsed. The core problem with Tulsi Gabbard's political evolution is that she presented herself as this anti-war truth teller who can identify those who are really anti-war and against regime change because she has a special eye for it. She saw it through the Democratic Party. She saw it through the Republican Party. But what she's doing in practice is she is laundering right-wing narratives with the tone of a moral authority that she simply doesn't have. And then she's shocked when people behave exactly the way they always have and exactly the way we've been saying they're going to behave. Trump has always flirted with regime change. This is the thing that's important to understand. He escalated tensions with Iran, and he assassinated Soleimani and tore up diplomatic agreements and replaced them with bravado. You've got to understand that while Trump says, I will keep us out of wars, Hillary will start 3 wars, Biden will start 3 wars, blah, 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 blah. But then Trump's the one who's actually flirting with it. And none of this is new. What's new is that Tulsi Gabbard started to pretend Trump's really different. He's totally different. He's especially, not only is Trump different from Democrats and Republicans who are all for these regime change things, but Tulsi even argued that in his second term compared to the first, Trump was going to be calmer and wiser and more restrained. But every single bit of evidence we had suggested that Trump would be completely unrestrained in his autocratic, authoritarian aspirations in the second term. In fact, Tulsi's presence working for Trump is part of Trump putting in these loyal above all else non-thinkers who are in way over their head. And maybe the most humiliating part for Tulsi Gabbard is that Trump at multiple points has started to sort of isolate her. You'll remember when the Iran strikes happened and Tulsi had come out and said, we don't have evidence that they're really doing any of the stuff that Trump says they're doing with regard to their nuclear program. Trump just sidelined her. All of a sudden she was gone, and she's basically been gone ever since that, even though she's trying to work her way kind of back into Donald Trump's good graces. So Tulsi Gabbard keeps trying to position herself as the serious foreign policy realist here, the adult in the room. Every single time she ties herself to Trump with some claim, she ends up exposed. not as a principled, independent thinker. She ends up exposed as someone who misreads power, ignores history, mistakes proximity to authoritarian politics for having some kind of insight. And if this is, at the end of the day, if anti-intervention is what Trump has done in Venezuela, Iran, Yemen, is threatening to do in Colombia and Cuba, it's not just like Tulsi kind of miscalculated. This is a full-blown humiliation and total reversal on everything she said Trump was and everything Trump said that he was. The thing I keep coming back to is, how do these people who are presumably closer to power than I am, how do they keep falling for things that we all know are untrue? I have no special access. Many of you who wrote to me and said, how is Tulsi falling for this crap? You don't have special access. How do all of us with no special access realize Trump's bullshitting about this anti-regime change thing, but Tulsi falls for it? And the answer may be that being closer to power doesn't give you better insight. It allows you to be blinded by that itch to be close to power itself. And so to some degree, maybe we actually have the more accurate view, not thinking to ourselves, what can I say to Trump to maybe get him to give me a job? Trump's not going to give me a job. It was obvious he was lying about the anti-war, anti-regime change stuff. Tulsi wanted to be there. She wanted to be next to the cool kid or whatever. She wanted to be invited to the party. And so I guess it depended on her not acknowledging these very obvious lies that Donald Trump was telling. Thanks for watching. Check out another one of our videos and make sure to subscribe so YouTube keeps our content in your feed. And if you prefer audio, subscribe to the podcast on Spotify or Apple.